This is casual. Hey guys, so before you even ask any questions, yes, I'm in my bathroom, and yes, I'm also drinking coffee in my bathroom, all because I wanted to make a spur of the moment video, because there's been a lot of talk about this YouTuber named Sam Pepper lately. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. If not, I'm not going to link you to him because I personally have very many issues with this man. But if you want to go check him out, I'm sure if you just Google search him or anything, you'll find his channel and carry on from there. The current issue with Sam Pepper is that he recently released a video where he touched women's butts. He pinched them. He wore a hoodie and put the sleeves in the pockets of the hoodie, and then one of his hands was free at the bottom of the sweatshirt. It looked like his hands were in the sweatshirt pocket, so when he pinched girls' butts, they'd be really confused as to what was going on. My first impression when I watched the video was not a good one. I'd gone into it knowing that there had been a lot of discussions about him. But anyway, the biggest part about Sam's video is everybody seems to have their own opinions on it, which is perfectly normal. Most people have their own opinions on every subject that there is out there, especially on YouTube. But there's always going to be haters in the comments for every video, but there seemed to be an immense number of people who disliked his fake pinching thing or whatever. So this video was taken down. He released a second part of the video that I did not see on YouTube, but it was also removed. It was a second part of the butt pinching prank, where he had a female friend go around and pinch guys' butts. The reactions weren't as bad as the original prank with Sam and women, but there was still some confusion as like, oh, what's going on here? Like, why are you touching my butt? Which, you know, was kind of expected. But later on, that one, I believe, also got removed. Sam ended up making a reveal video, which revealed that it was supposedly a social experiment, because these things really do happen, which is true. In my own opinion, I think that Sam's attempt as to call it a social experiment is kind of false. Now, I completely understand any fans of Sam's, any people in general who agree and think that it was a real social experiment. It very well could have been. But in my own personal opinion, even if it was a social experiment, I don't really think it was worth all the trouble, because we should be aware that there are people out there who do simple things like pinching butts and everything, and it can escalate into further things. But I also believe that it was done wrongfully, because when he posted the videos, he didn't give any explanation as to it being a social experiment. It would have been nice if he had said ahead of time, stated for his viewers that it was a social experiment and not to get upset, because he ended up causing this giant ruckus on the internet, and it's still going on now. It's going on over Twitter, it's going over everything. His channel's been reported. Just a lot of things have been going on because he didn't mention this. I have no problems with social experiments as long as they're for the greater good, and I don't really know if this was for the greater good. Another problem I've been having is a lot of people are attacking fellow viewers, or just people coming forward with stories about Sam Pepper. There was a YouTuber by the name of thisbedottie who recently released a video where she came forward about how when she was 16 she went to Sam Pepper's meetup, and he ended up being interested in her, and she agreed to go to the movies with him a day later, I believe. And keep in mind, she's 16, he was, I think, 23, if I remember correctly from her video. I'll link to it in the description, it's really good. But she basically comes forward and says that he sexually touched her and tried to get her to sexually touch him in the movie theater, and after which he ran away. She's getting a lot of attacks in her comments. I'm sure she's handling them as she goes. But I just wanted to say that I find that very heartbreaking, that a woman who comes forward saying that at one point in her life this man did do something to her, regardless of the social experiment aspect with the pranks, that part doesn't really even matter anymore, because now we're getting into the area where he actually did do some pretty bad things in his past. We recently saw this with the recent outings, I guess you would say. It's not really that recent, it was a while back ago, but Alex Day, Luke Connard, all those people, they were recently confronted about things they had done to fans when they originally started becoming famous YouTubers. Like I said, my biggest problem is that people like thisbedottie are being attacked in their comment sections like she's just doing it for the views. This isn't a real story. And this is the type of thing that actually happens in the real world. Whenever a woman or even a man, I know that the whole point of Sam's social experiment was to point out that some things like this happen to men too. Abuse happens to men as well. I'm not gonna ignore that. It does happen, but it's more prominent in women. And men don't exactly have an issue of walking down the street and having people whistle at them, having things said about them. You know, it's not as, you don't see it as much. It happens, but you don't see it. It's not as widely discussed. So I want to know in the comment section if you guys know about this problem that's going around on YouTube, what your opinions are on it, because I completely respect anybody's opinion that has education behind it. I really have a hard time respecting people who leave hateful comments saying, oh, she's doing it for the views, Sam Pepper is this and this and this. You know, I really like people to be educated before they make some sort of decision like that, because otherwise I can't really take them seriously if they're trying to back up an argument with absolutely no factual evidence. And please don't forget that this is a real problem in our world right now. Women being sexually harassed, even men being sexually harassed. It's a real problem, and it does need to be dealt with in a much different way. So if you or anyone you know are going through something like this, make sure you tell somebody. Don't put it off. Make sure you tell someone, because if you don't tell anybody, it's really just going to get worse, most likely. Anyways, I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.